Viewer contributions make local programming possible on WNIN. Become a member of WNIN with your contribution so we can continue to make this programming available. Visit WNIN.org and click on the donate button.
It's October.
May it please the court, the beginning of a great week. I salute WNIN for their show about the West Side Nut Club Fall Festival and its history, and I nominate His Honor for Best Supporting Actor. That was a great show and a great interview they did with you.
Well, thank you.
You know, I don't think the West Side Nut Club gets enough credit, and that's why I was so happy about that show for the millions of dollars they reinvest in this community. And equally important, there are charities, as you know, Les, in this town who depend upon that festival for their budget for the whole year.
There's like 142 booths out there.
All nonprofits.
All nonprofit, and many of those, as you said, many of those organizations, that's their money for the year.
Yeah, this church youth group and that society and this, it's just a wonderful thing. And USA Today is exactly right calling it the #1 fall festival in the United States.
Exactly. Well, nothing's been happening around here yet.
There has not. And you know, I've had a lot of calls, Your Honor, when I say that nobody could pick Congressman Bouchon out of a lineup, and I have gone on to say that nobody could pick Mark Messier out of a lineup. You've heard me say that.
It's Congressman Messmer.
Nobody could pick him out of a lineup. I've asked his office if he would agree to appear in a lineup. They said no. So today, on Shively Shoulders, we have a lineup, ladies and gentlemen, for you to try to pick out our congressman. Now, we try to put people that look and think like him in the lineup. So we will have a contest for the first viewer that can call in and pick out Congressman Messier. We're going to send you on a Tibetan treasure hunting adventure in the tri-state area.
By the way, my disclaimer for the record, I had nothing to do with this display.
If you can pick him out, call Channel 9 right now and you win.
By the way, is that you in a little suit?
No, that could be him. Don't give him any clues.
Okay.
Anything to say about that, Senator Jim shooting blanks? No. All right.
Well, you've been pretty critical of our senior senator from Indiana.
Todd Forever Young.
He did what I think was the right thing. He might even say courageous.
Voted with the Democrats to
No, he took a stand on the FCC interfering with the Jimmy Kimmel situation.
He did?
He did.
You might improve my viewpoint on Forever
And he
Young right
basically, Senator Cruz, one of your favorites, made a point that when First Amendment rights are at stake, it's time to part waters. You can't be partisan over constitutionally protected rights. As you said so often,
I have.
The First Amendment is not the First Amendment by accident.
It might be the greatest paragraph in the history of self-governance.
All right, we're taping this show on the first Monday in October. What is the first Monday in October?
It means that the Supreme Political Court is gathering its robes together in Washington, D.C., and they come out of the gate denying Ghislaine Maxwell a chance for one more appeal. So the orange buffoon will now have to grant her clemency to keep her mouth shut, perhaps. Do you know who's happiest about the government shutdown?
Wait a second.
The man that's happiest about the government shutdown is Sir Donald Trump, because we can't vote on releasing the Epstein files when the congressmen have gone home.
The Supreme Court is just started today.
Yes,
don't make predictions you can't back up.
They've got some big cases, but no-brainers. I mean, birthright citizenship. Can you read the Constitution? That one should be easy.
Should be, and we hope they do the right thing. But more important than that, many appeals are before them concerning the powers of the executive branch.
Indeed.
And in order to maintain this three separate branches of government, it's important for this court to make those lines very, very clear.
Back when you were a Republican, would you have had any trouble with the fact that the executive branch, the Article 2 branch of our federal government, is now ignoring appropriations, calling it impoundment of money that the Article 1, the United States Congress, has passed these bills. Prior presidents have signed these bills. They become law. They say, ye shall fund these millions to this thing. And the current occupant says, nah. Now, you would have had trouble with that.
Any person who reads the Constitution should have problems with that.
Congressman, do you have trouble with that? Let's hear his statement on that issue. Thank you, Congressman Messier.
Well, I'll tell you what, the National Guard is being deployed to many of our cities. Maybe it should be deployed to your neighborhood. I mean,
Now, seriously, you liked that back in the days when you were a Republican, and you're not now. Nobody will ever accuse you of being partisan, and that's a good thing. You wear those robes with dignity and justice. But back when you were a Republican, American troops, boots on the ground in Chicago?
Patrick, you missed the point. It's not being partisan. It's understanding the law and what the proper roles of the various branches are, and also the military.
I get that.
The National Guard are not policemen.
Well, how about the Secretary of Defense, whose resume includes...
Oh, excuse me, Secretary of War.
So, you're right.
That was done with war. That was done without Congress.
He goes and has this big meeting of all the generals and basically says women shouldn't be in combat.
He didn't say that.
And we
He did
have
not
to
say that.
improve lethality. We have to learn how to kill better.
No, that's not what he said. And I want to correct you on that.
Okay,
You
correct.
can have your own set of opinions, your own set of facts.
I will stand correct.
He said the same physical standards apply across the board regardless of gender.
He implied.
He didn't imply it. He said if men don't cut it and women, it doesn't make any difference. It's not a gender thing.
All I know is some brass have resigned. He made an of himself, and it troubles me. But if we can just get to a year from now, midterms, we can at least get one house of government in the hands of the other party and perhaps stop this silliness. Speaking of which, we could use a two-party system in the state of Indiana, and guess who was announced for Secretary of State?
Somebody named Bai?
Bo Bai. So I think, now he's going to run against Diego Morales. Should be a tough race because
Diego Morales.
Diego ranks #1, ladies and gentlemen. This should make you proud. The most traveled public official on your tax dollars in the state of Indiana is Diego Morales. Not Todd Rose Stupid, not Governor Mike No Brains All Brawn. It is your man, Diego Morales, who's traveled more as our Secretary of State than anybody else.
He's in touch with Hoosiers. What can you say?
All the Hoosiers that have been in India, where he's been twice. Well, anyway, I think we win that one, and I think we begin to build a new Democratic superstructure, and we'll have a guest we can talk to about that.
Sure, absolutely. Finally, Mark Sanchez was stabbed in downtown Indy.
By a 60-some-odd-year-old truck driver.
Let me finish. So Sanchez is in stable condition, been released, but upon release, he was taken to custody and charged with 5 misdemeanors.
Which I just read breaking news before we came in here. It has now been charged with a felony. But I don't know what a sportscaster for national, was he Fox? National Network is doing post-midnight in an alley with a 60-some-odd-year-old truck driver and a knife. Just not kind of what you're thinking.
As Tony Dungy once said, nothing good happens after midnight.
And with that, we have a guest today, a young man who sits in the Indiana legislature, and he can tell us what the hell's wrong up there. Welcome back, my 5 million. Thank you for watching. We have a great treat today. A member of the Indiana legislature representing, well, he'll tell you who he represents, what district. Representative Alex Burton, an Evansville native, and a Harper Hornet.
That's right.
Do you understand, ladies and gentlemen, that right now, at this table, there are 3, not 1, not 2, 3 Harper Elementary School Hornets.
And your mother was Principal at Harper,
My mother was the principal at Harper as well.
long after we graduated.
A damn fine one, too. Welcome, Alex.
Thank you. So glad
Your
to be here.
district is kind of Evansville, right?
Yeah, basically all of Evansville.
That's what I'm thinking. You kind of got the city limits. Do you have any county, any toward?
No county. So basically going from Wrights High School to Harrison High School is
There we
and
go.
everything in between.
Before we get started about issues of the day, a little bit about your background, educational background, employment background, et cetera.
Yeah, sure. So started at Harper Elementary and then Washington Middle School, then on to Bossy High School, and went to Indiana State from undergrad, and went to Western Kentucky for my master's program in public
The
administration.
Hilltoppers are having a good football
Yeah.
season.
The Hilltoppers are doing everything they need to this year.
So when you're not in the General Assembly, what are you doing?
When I'm not at the General Assembly, I have a day job at what you all know is very global, but is now Amcor. And I'm the workforce development manager there, making sure that our pipelines to employment are intact from Oregon to Massachusetts.
Your first foray into electoral politics was city council,
That's right.
4th Ward,
Yes.
Connie Robinson's seat.
Yes.
She was there so long, we named a street after her.
That's right.
Well, and you went from there now into the state legislature. Is this your second term?
No, first term.
You've been there long enough. Do you think you could pick out our
that
congressman
down.
in a lineup?
I think he's on the lineup sheet.
Okay,
Representative
can you pick
Burton,
out
tell him
which
to put
one?
that down.
So let's talk about this well, no, before we get there. You're in the minority party in the House of Representatives.
That's right.
How many Democrats are there
30.
out of
100.
100? So if we don't show up, they still got a quorum.
They do.
Do they pay any attention to the Democrats?
They do.
Can you get anything done?
I have been shocked for the amount of things that I've been able to get accomplished and where they at least hear me out up until this point. And I'm looking forward to that.
Tell me about some of the accomplishments.
Yeah, so I am the only Democrat to get an amendment added to a utility piece of legislation, not energy utility, water utility, but was able to get that done. And I am working very closely with the chairman to get some things done to make better energy policy in the state, utility policy in the state.
And is that what you're working on right now, would you say? I mean, there's been a lot about the rates people pay, CenterPoint. Is that one of your primary focus?
It's a focus. We also have an incredibly broken DCS system, Department of Child Services, where there are unfortunately kids sleeping on cots. So that has to be addressed. And then you talk about health care and the Medicaid cost. There's been a whole lot of talk about it, but there hasn't really been a whole lot of solutions brought forward. So going into this next legislative session, not only will I file some energy-focused legislation, but I'll file some in the realm of DCS and Medicaid as well.
Let me ask you this. DCS has been broken for some time.
Mm-hmm.
Various administrations have tried to fix it. What's your solution?
If I had a magic wand, I think the good news is that a teacher at Wrights is now the executive director of DCS through a weird change of professions. But the focus has to be on our kids and making sure the kids who are able to be with their families, they stay with their families, and those who need to be removed are done so with the proper process. I just think there needs to be accountability both from the state and from parents in our communities as well to really step up, because it's really creating a series of events that then lead into our Medicaid spend into their adulthood. So some work to do.
Important.
Good luck.
Thank you.
So let's talk about before we talk about getting a post office named for Judge Shively. No, it wouldn't be a post office. It'd be like the state garage or something like that.
Maybe a bridge.
Waste
A
disposal
bridge.
site.
Yeah, a bridge. There you go. Well, I see where the Lieutenant Governor Micah Teheckwith is trying to get a bridge named for Charlie Kirk. Didn't I read that? I digress. The last legislative session, Governor No Brains Albraun worked the whole time on his big beautiful bill, which appears to me all it did was shift the tax burden to cities and counties. Talk about that. Did you resist that bill?
I absolutely did.
I know you did. So talk about that. Talk about why it's wrong and how we're going to fix it.
Yeah, sure. Coming from city council and serving as the finance chair, this was almost the perfect storm in trying to vote against and advocate against the legislation. I mean, you see it here in Evansville, the city council, the wheel tax that had to go into effect. I'm sure that's the first of several other additional taxes that have to go into effect, simply because our state is trying to follow a narrative that doesn't make any sense. We need to solve problems, and there is absolutely no focus on solving any problems. And that's an unfortunate reality, and being in the super minority makes it that much harder, because at some point we have to solve problems, and there's not enough people focused on solving problems in the State House right now.
The governor is close to, maybe already has, by the time the show airs, calling the General Assembly back into a special session to reset the districts, congressional districts in the state. What's your position on that?
The Democrats will not like me for this answer. I'm ready to get it over with. Whether we're talking Medicaid, health care, utility bills, DCS, housing, you name it. We have all these issues that need to be addressed, and all of these issues are just basically political pawns to this redistricting effort. And so the faster we can get the redistricting over and done with, the faster we can solve all the other issues.
That's an interesting analysis. You'd like to have the session just to get over it so you can get down to other things?
We can't move forward to addressing the real problems. Really? No, they're focused on this redistricting, whether it's the vice president flew to Indiana and then the legislators flew to D.C. To basically, they were given their instructions. And they have not followed through on their instructions yet. And frankly, from my perspective, we need to go ahead and get it over with so that we can focus on the issues that really matter to most Hoosiers.
Do you really think they're going to do it?
If the Indiana Republicans do not redistrict, I think there will be hell to pay.
How will they do it? Because they're talking about Gary and they're talking about inside the Beltway as the only two districts we've got on our side. How are they going to do that?
I'm sure they're going to slice Indianapolis up like a pizza pie.
Out this way. Have you seen any maps, proposals?
There are some proposed maps out there, but I think they're trying to really figure out who the next congressional representative is going to be from the state of Indiana.
So you think the only thing holding them up from doing it is everybody falling all over themselves to get the seat?
Oh, absolutely.
Can all the Democrats lay down across I-160 around, 465 that goes around? Yeah. Can you lay across in a human chain and stop traffic?
Well, at this point, something needs to be done.
My goodness.
The governor's office has turned the answer machine off, so now the phone just rings on loop. They know that Hoosiers don't want this. Hoosiers want these problems solved, right. And we can't get anything done because redistricting is the matter that D.C. is telling Indianapolis what to do.
All right. That's an interesting perspective. We'll see what that comes to fruition. Another subject. Patrick talked about at the top of the show, Bo by his filing for Secretary of State. Can't file yet, but as announced. You think he's a savior to get the Democrat Party back into power?
I don't think savior is the right word. I think it's a new generation of leadership stepping up to the table. I think something other than what we've been getting is going to be good. And let's face it, if we get the 18 to 45-year-olds out to vote, this election should speak for itself.
Which means you and I can stay home because we don't fit that age demographic.
But, the reality of it is I think people are ready for something fresh, something new, and certainly Bo brings that, not only with great name ID, but just a new generation. And I know for me as a state representative, I'll do what I can. And
the interesting thing is, correct me if I'm wrong, I know you will, that's how his dad started out, right?
Exactly, same office. And it's a nice stepping stone against a wounded candidate. So anything where we can get a little inroad, a little excitement. Evan did the same thing, frankly, came in, and there's hope.
Speaking of moving on, you've been a city council person, been a state rep now. What's your next political goal?
To be reelected as state rep.
And when is that election? Next November?
Next November.
So it's a 2-year gig?
2-year gig.
Well, I think you'll have no problem. You ought to be unopposed. You're working on DCS, but you know, we've left it. But I don't think the public in general gets it. Just explain in the little time we have left what all the Republicans worked on last time. Didn't it like give us about a $300 tax break on our state taxes and just absolutely deprived counties and cities of money?
That's right. So
I mean,
300.
I know what I have exaggerated from time to time. So tell me exactly what it did.
Well, we got a $300 tax savings on our property taxes, and we've implemented universal vouchers for Hoosiers.
I want to explain that to our viewers because that's a real change.
Yeah, so in essence, if Elon Musk happened to wanted to send his children to school in Indiana, he could get it taken care of. He
To a
could get
private
it paid
school.
to a private school. He can get a portion of those proceeds, or excuse me, a portion of the tuition paid for, which then harms our public schools, which we're products of.
Explain to our viewers again how that hurts public schools.
Yeah, sure. So the dollars that would go to our schools, our public schools, for instance, EVSC, are now being shared with our parochial and charter schools. So Signature School and now Evansville Christian School, they all have access to the dollars that were intended for our public schools in the community.
Well, and there seems to be an agenda up there to, I'm going to say, resegregate the schools because it has that effect. They give money now for, if you're ahead in a seat in the public school, the state gives you so much per pupil. Now what we're telling people is that allotment of tax dollars can be used to pay tuition at, you name it. And it's hard to talk about charters here because we have some good ones.
That's right.
You know, I mean, we have Signature School is ranked nationally. But that ain't the way it is the rest of the state.
But charter schools are not really private schools, are they?
No. Well,
It's a deviation. It's not a public school. And I think for us, with 90% of the kids in Indiana going to public schools, our focus should be on establishing parameters and making sure that our public schools are as efficient and as great as they can be. Every school district in the state is not EVSE, unfortunately.
right.
But that's the reality, and we need to make sure that our school districts are taking care of our students for the sake of, you know, you say you want to save Medicaid. If we don't address this Medicaid problem, which again, our Medicaid spend is mainly of people who are younger than 45. And so if we don't fix this cycle, the Medicaid spend is going to grow and the burden is going to be on the taxpayers.
Well, and the other unfairness is, of course, and we could be on this the rest of the day, but we don't make charter schools, we don't make the Evansville Christian School have exceptional learner. We don't have special ed there. We exempt them from a lot of things that the public schools are charged with by both state and federal law, yet we give vouchers to get out of there. But as a good Democrat, talk a little bit to us about what you feel the government shutdown. Are the Democrats picking their issue well here? If you were in Congress?
I mean, the Schumer shutdown, right?
No. The we got to protect Obamacare shutdown. You think we've picked the right issue?
Healthcare is certainly the right issue to talk about and for a focus to be on right now. I mean, healthcare costs are astronomical for anyone who has insurance. Those costs certainly need to be protected, and this is the right fight. My hope is that Schumer and the rest of the Democrats do not let up and make sure that the Republicans own the mess that they have caused.
I'm wondering how the polling will look a week from now. I mean, we're saying they won't negotiate, they won't talk about Obamacare tax credits or the other piece of health care that we're trying to control here, the Medicaid. They won't talk about it. They keep saying, you voted 13 times to extend this on a continuing resolution. We'll talk about it after November. What do you think? Who gets the bad press?
I think the Republicans will end up with the bad press because they're trying to divert it to immigration and
away from the Epstein files.
Away from the Epstein files, and they're trying to play this narrative that I think people are getting sick and tired of. People want problems solved, and right now we're not getting it at the federal or the state level.
Guys, general public sees a pox on both their houses, Republicans and Democrats. They're both going to be taking responsibility for the shutdown.
Well, as long as they don't forget that he did solve the Ukraine war on day one and the price of eggs has come down. Oh, wait. Representative Burton, you've been a great guest. Thank you for joining us here.
Come back again.
Shively and
Absolutely.
Shoulders. When we come back, the judge will hold me in contempt.
Patrick, it's fall festival time.
No. Are you going to MC the talent show for the 40th time in a row?
I think I'm slated to do the finals and the Queen contest on Tuesday.
He has been the voice of those productions at the West Side Nut Club Fall Festival between Pronto Pups for 30 or 40 years, it seems to me.
You know, getting back to our discussion, by the way, Alex was a great guest.
He is a great guest, and he does a nice job as a state rep.
Sure does. Two things you said one thing you said I take exception with, the other one I agree with. I don't think this move to universal vouchers in any way has any discriminatory plan. I think it may be a result, but it's not planned. It's a part of this very strong ultra-right-wing approach to parental rights. And the people, and certain people losing faith in our public schools, which I think is wrong.
I think it's, hey, white folks, get your kids out of inner city schools, and we'll even allow you to get paid to do that.
No.
That's what I think it is.
I don't think there's any evidence
What do you
to
think,
prove
Senator?
that. I think that's really a very cynical way to look at it. But it's the wrong. The way people look at it is the fact that you saw three examples up here of products of public education.
Right.
That have
Which
done
is
okay.
the greatest hope and the last hope for this democracy.
The other thing on this healthcare situation, the Republicans say, oh, these credits expire in December. But the reality of it is the time period to elect your health care provider starts November 1st. So there's some real issues here.
Well, it is a significant issue. Premiums are going to go up, I've read, 120% if we don't do something. The Democrats have picked a significant issue. Whether their timing is good, it is cynical for the Republicans to have this resolution go just beyond the November election. They also had the credits, the Obamacare tax credits, die just beyond this election. But the Democrats have not been good on messaging, so we'll see where this falls.
And unfortunately, the polls do show that.
And we'll see what our congressman, if you can pick him out, what he has to say about this. Perhaps on the next edition, you've always got an invitation, Congressman Messier.
And I'll make sure he behaves.
Thanks for watching.
See you next week.
Shively and Shoulders.